You on the other side of the screen, do you like video games? I like video games, but I don't like every video game. So for the past couple of weeks, I have been writing a review on Hopoo Games' new Risk of Rain Returns, which is a remake of their original breakout game, Risk of Rain, and you know, that video may or may not see the light of day. I have yet to decide, but it got me thinking about something, because that video opens with the line, "I have never been a fan of platformers or Metroidvanias. They've just never clicked with me." That got me thinking, because I have tried many a platformer and many a Metroidvania. I have tried the original Castlevania games. I have tried the new Metroid games. I've tried Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I've tried Hollow Knight. I've tried Shovel Knight, and I just don't think they're for me. And that's okay, right? Because while writing the script, I kind of just started to go down a spiral of other games that I've tried, but have never really liked. So I even have like a list. A genre of game that I've tried and has never really vibed with me is JRPGs. And trust me, I've tried my fair share of them. I've tried Persona 5, I tried the Final Fantasy VII Remake, like the big ones that are like the gateways into the genre, and I've just never really vibed with them. I've loved the Yakuza games, but the difference is those are more like action brawlers and less RPG. So I don't know where the line is drawn, but I have yet to find myself really investing in really loving a JRPG. Another genre that people will fucking coom over is like cozy games, things like Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing, games that I call chore games, which I might be a little derogatory, but I've tried Animal Crossing and I've tried Stardew Valley, and while I really admire what they do and I admire why people enjoy them, they just haven't really been for me. They're not the kind of games that I want to play when I want to wind down. If I'm just casually playing a game and I want to just shut my brain off, I'll play the original Half-Life. I'll play Halo 3. Games like, I just really like those more old school shooters. Those, to me, are cozy games. Another series of games that I've tried and people fucking lose their minds over that I have, is Far Cry. I've tried Far Cry 3, I've tried Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, and my brother was obsessed with Far Cry 5, and I've tried them all, and they're just too repetitive. They're not for me. Same with the Just Cause games. They're just games where I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything. I'm just playing in a playground. But if you tell people that, you get like crucified online. Sometimes you just don't like a genre, or God forbid, you're just not in the mood for a certain type of game, and yet people will make it out to be like it's the craziest thing on the planet. You don't like Persona 5? You don't like Stardew Valley? What's wrong with you? Do you like video games? It's like, I know a lot of people like these games, and I respect the people who enjoy those games, but they're just not for me. I love Slay the Spire, but I've met many a person who fucking hates Slay the Spire. So am I gonna go to that person and be like, you just hate video games because you don't like this distinct type of genre and game that I enjoy, so that means you're wrong. That's just what the internet does, right? The internet is a hive mind that just fucking attacks people for not liking what they like. But I'm here to reassure you that it's okay. You have opinions, I have opinions, and we're allowed to have those opinions separate of what other people's opinions are. I know that's a very obvious thing to say, but I think it gets to a lot of people. But you're allowed to stop playing that game that you're not liking. You're allowed to stop reading that book that's just making you angry as you read it. You don't have to finish the movie that you started. You're allowed to stop if you don't like it. Because the sunk cost fallacy, while an actual thing, is stupid. I know that we're all monkey brained and it gets to us, but you don't, it's hard. But I promise you, the money you've put into that game, the time you put into that game was not wasted. That was money and time you spent figuring out your opinions, finding things that you either did or didn't like. And if you didn't like them, you don't have to finish them. That's why everybody's Steam accounts are just full of games that they've just never finished or never played, because they might have picked it up on a Steam sale, they might have tried it out, and then they just don't jive with it and they never go back, and that is okay. But that's also an argument for physical media, because then if you bought that game, you could give it to somebody who does like it, and then they can try it, and maybe they'll love it, and then it's not going to just sit in your Steam library collecting dust digitally forever and eternity. But that's not the point of this video. But let's say there is something that you really want to enjoy, something that everyone really enjoys, and there's something about it that you admire, but you can't really find yourself getting into it. I promise you, there is hope. Because for years, and years and years and years, I hated the Dark Souls games. I despised the Dark. I had tried them so many times, and I just hated them. But something changed a couple years ago, and that is how I was playing them. And I know that sounds silly, but the thing is when I was playing Dark Souls, I didn't know what I was doing, and it made for a shitty experience. And so I had some coworkers who loved the Dark Souls games, and they were there to help me as I played. I was like, fine, I'll give it another shot. And we didn't play co-op, but if I got stuck or I had a question, they would guide me in the right direction. And that helped tremendously, because if you've played Dark Souls 1, you know there's a graveyard and a cave, and that cave should not be the first place you go, and that was constantly the first place I went. So the game was really hard, and everyone had been saying that Dark Souls was a fair type of hard, but I had been playing through that, and the enemies wouldn't die, and it was pitch black, and I didn't know where I was going, and I was like, this game is supposed to be fair hard? That's stupid, and I stopped playing. But then I had friends tell me where to actually go, and help me with bosses, and help me find weapons, and understand what's going on, and help me find fun secrets, and that made me love the Dark Souls games. And now I have all of the achievements for all of the FromSoft games, and I love them now. And what changed was me as a person and how I was engaging in that thing. So you might not like something now, but you might like it later. And you might like something now that you might not like later, and that is also okay, because you are a growing person whose life changes, and the outside stimuli of your life changes what you like to engage with. And that is okay. I promise. And I know that I haven't posted a video in several weeks, but I have just been in a rut, and I've been thinking about this because I have been picking up and putting down games just left and right. And I have yet to finally really stick with one that I have just absolutely been loving, and that is okay. Because sometimes, no matter how good the year of gaming or movies or books is, you might just not be in the right space to engage in certain things, and that'll always change, I promise, because it might feel like right now you'll never love video games again, you'll never love movies again, but I promise you, that'll change. Also, if you're watching this the day it came out, it is my birthday, so I demand that you like and subscribe as a birthday present. You have to comment 35 times, and you have to like and subscribe.